Welcome, dear listener. Tonight, I invite you to set aside the weight of the day. Whatever worries you've been carrying, whatever thoughts have been looping in your mind, this is your time to let them go. You've done enough for today. You've tried your best. And now you deserve rest. In this gentle journey, inspired by the timeless wisdom of Zen and Buddhist teachings, we will walk together into a peaceful world where the mind grows still, the breath grows deep, and the heart feels light. These are not just stories, but quiet companions crafted to soothe anxiety, ease overthinking, and guide you softly toward deep, healing sleep. There is no rush here, no deadlines, no expectations, only the sound of my voice, the flow of the story, and the steady rhythm of your breath, carrying you deeper into calm. So find a comfortable place to rest. Let your body sink into the softness beneath you. Feel the tension melt away, like snow disappearing under the warmth of the morning sun. As we begin, imagine you are stepping into a serene world where moonlight dances on still waters, where the wind hums lullabies through the trees, and where your mind, like a quiet lake, reflects only peace. You are safe. You are loved. You are home. Now, let us begin. The sun was beginning its slow descent, painting the sky in soft amber and rose gold hues. The air felt warm but forgiving, carrying with it the faint scent of pine and earth. Somewhere in the distance, a small bell rang its chime, thin and clear, like a drop of silver water falling into a still pond. You were walking a narrow, winding path, your steps slow, your breathing steady, as though the road itself wanted you to move gently. On either side, the grass swayed lazily, and beyond that, the hills rolled softly toward the horizon. Above, the clouds drifted without hurry, content to simply be at the top of the path, barely visible through a frame of cedar trees, stood a small temple. Its wooden beams had darkened with time, and the roof's curved edges were tipped with gold leaf that caught the last light of the day. A line of stone lanterns marked the way, each one crowned with a mossy cap. The soft glow from within them made it seem as though they had been lit just for you. Asterisk, you reached the steps wide, flat stones worn smooth by countless feet over the years. Each step felt grounding, like the earth was greeting you, welcoming you home. When you reached the temple door, you paused. The great wooden panels were open and warm light spilled out, carrying with it the scent of incense sandalwood, sweet and deep, wrapping itself around your senses like a soft blanket. Asterisk inside. The air was still. The space was simple tatami mats across the floor, a few low wooden benches, and at the far end, a small altar with a bronze statue of the Buddha, eyes half closed in a peaceful gaze. Candles flickered on either side, their flames dancing in slow, graceful movements. Asterisk, from the shadows emerged an elderly monk. His robe was the color of earth after rain, his steps unhurried. His eyes, lined with age, seemed to hold both the calm of still water and the depth of a mountain lake. Asterisk, you've come far, he said softly, as though speaking too loudly might disturb the air itself. Come, sit with me. Asterisk, you followed him to a low bench by the open sliding doors, where the view stretched over the valley below. The mist was beginning to rise from the low fields, turning the distant hills into shapes half seen, like dreams you can almost remember. Asterisk, the monk poured 2 cups of tea, the steam curling upward in lazy spirals. The cup felt warm in your hands, grounding you further into the moment. Asterisk, you have been carrying much, he said, not as a question, but as a simple truth. Asterisk, you felt yourself nodding, though words didn't come. The monk continued, this temple is a place where even thoughts can rest. Many who come here think they must fight to stop their overthinking, but the mind is like the wind. It cannot be stopped by force. Instead, you give it space. Let it move as it wishes until it tires on its own. Asterisk, he gestured to the valley below. Do you see the mist? It doesn't try to escape the valley, nor does it try to stay. It simply follows the air's quiet invitation. Asterisk, you sipped your tea. The flavor was soft, earthy, with a hint of flowers you couldn't name. With every sip, you felt something inside you unclenched. Asterisk, the monk told you the first of many stories, a simple one, about a traveler who spent his life chasing the perfect place to rest, only to discover that peace was not a destination, but a way of walking. Asterisk. His voice was like a low river, smooth and constant. Outside, the sky deepened into twilight, and the first stars began to appear. Somewhere in the distance, a night bird sang. Asterisk, the monk placed a small candle between you. Tonight, he said, let this flame be your mind. Don't try to make it burn brighter, and don't fear when it flickers. Simply watch it. Let it be. Asterisk, and as you sat there, the warmth of the tea in your hands, the cool air brushing your skin, and the candle's small, steady light before you, your thoughts began to slow, not by force, but by invitation, like the mist in the valley, drifting wherever it wished without needing to arrive. Asterisk, the night was only beginning, but already you felt lighter. The monk rose from his seat and motioned for you to follow. His robe brushed softly against the floor as he walked, the sound no louder than the whisper of falling leaves. Together, you stepped through a side door of the temple and onto a narrow, wooden walkway that led into the garden. Asterisk, the air here felt different, cooler, scented with blossoms and damp earth. A soft wind drifted through, carrying the faint sound of water. The moon, almost full, floated above the garden wall, casting a gentle silver light across everything it touched. Asterisk. This, the monk said softly, is the garden of stillness. It is not still because nothing moves. Look closely, and you will see that everything here moves. The water flows, the grass sways, the lantern flames tremble, but nothing here rushes. Asterisk, you stepped down from the walkway and felt the gravel beneath your feet crunch gently. It was raked into flowing patterns like the ripples of a lake. Each curve seemed to guide your eyes in a slow dance, encouraging your thoughts to follow. Asterisk A. Pond lay at the garden's heart, its surface so calm it seemed almost like glass. You could see the moon reflected there, framed by the silhouettes of leaning pines. A small stone bridge arched over the water, and beneath it, koi fish drifted lazily, their colors gold, white, deep red sliding like living brushstrokes beneath the surface. Asterisk, the monk stopped at the edge of the pond and knelt, dipping his fingers into the cool water. Many people, he said, come here to quiet the mind. They think they must chase away all thoughts before they can feel peace. But the koi do not chase the moon's reflection. They simply move with the water, and the moon stays with them. Asterisk, you felt yourself exhale slowly without effort. The water's stillness began to seep into you, as if your own heartbeat was syncing with the gentle rhythm of the pond. Asterisk, in the far corner of the garden, a small waterfall trickled down mossy stones. It sounded like 1,000 tiny whispers telling the same comforting secret over and over. You walked closer, feeling the air grow cooler, tiny droplets brushing your skin. Asterisk, the sound, the monk said, is like the mind's endless chatter. If you try to silence it, you will strain and grow tired. But if you listen without resistance, it becomes music. Asterisk, you close your eyes and listened, not to control the sound, but to let it be what it was. And slowly, the noise no longer felt noisy. It became part of the night's gentle harmony, the crickets in the grass, the sighing wind, the the low murmur of the waterfall. The monk led you to a stone bench shaded by a flowering plum tree. Its blossoms, pale pink, even in the moonlight, swayed. Lightly above you, some petals had fallen, dotting the ground like soft stars. You brushed one with your fingertip. It was so light you could barely feel it. Rest here, the monk said. Do not try to empty your mind. Instead, let it wander through this garden as it pleases. Like a guest exploring a home, it will settle when it is ready. He left you there, the sound of his steps fading back toward the temple. You sat in the moonlight, the scent of plum blossoms all around, your gaze drifting lazily from the pond to the waterfall to the trees. There was no hurry, no need to fix or change anything. Somewhere deep inside, the restless current of your thoughts began to slow, not stopped, but soften like a river in early winter, moving gently beneath a thin layer of ice. Above, a breeze passed through the blossoms, sending a few petals tumbling into your lap. You watched them rest there, and for the first time in a long while, you felt perfectly at ease with exactly where you were. The garden stillness wrapped around you like a soft blanket. You might have sat there for moments, or perhaps for hours. Time felt like it had loosened its hold. Then, somewhere nearby, a faint glow caught your attention. Asterisk beyond the plum tree, a narrow stone path curved into the shadows. Along its edges stood small wooden lanterns, each glowing with a warm golden light. The flame inside each one flickered gently, painting moving shapes onto the gravel and moss. Asterisk, you rose slowly, your body feeling light, as though the weight you carried earlier in the day had quietly slipped away. The path invited you forward, not with urgency, but with a quiet promise, each step leading you deeper into peace. Asterisk, the air here was warm, touched with the scent of sandalwood. Somewhere far off, you could hear the deep, resonant sound of a temple bell, its tone rolling slowly through the night like a wave that takes a long time to reach the shore. Asterisk, as you walked, you noticed how each lantern seemed placed with care, not too close, not too far apart, just enough to guide without crowding. Their glow did not fight the darkness. Instead, it lived alongside it. You began to wonder if this was how your own thoughts could be, gentle lights scattered in the vast space of your mind, neither overwhelming nor hidden. Asterisk, the monk appeared ahead, standing beside one of the lanterns. His face was lit softly from below, and his eyes reflected the same warm glow. Asterisk, this path, he said, is for those who are lost in overthinking. Each lantern is a reminder you need not see the entire road to walk it. One light at a time is enough. Asterisk, you continued walking with him step by step. The gravel crunched lightly underfoot, and every so often a moth drifted lazily around a lantern before disappearing into the night. The sound of the waterfall from the garden faded, replaced by the gentle hum of cicadas in the nearby trees. Asterisk, at one lantern, the monk paused and lifted the lid. Inside, the flame flickered more brightly, casting a soft dance of shadows across your hands. Asterisk, this flame is not afraid of the darkness, he said. It does not burn itself out trying to chase it away. It simply shines where it stands, and that is enough. Asterisk, you breathed in deeply, letting the meaning settle into you. Perhaps you did not have to chase away every anxious thought tonight. Perhaps you could simply light one small corner of your mind and rest there. Asterisk, the path began to rise gently, leading toward a low archway framed with climbing jasmine. Its blossoms were just beginning to open for the night, their fragrance delicate but unmistakable. Passing beneath, you felt as if you had stepped into another pocket of the world, one even quieter than the last dot asterisk here. The lanterns were fewer, but the moonlight was stronger. The trees stood taller, their branches interlacing to create a canopy. Above, the monk stopped beside the final lantern on the path and turned to you. Asterisk. Beyond here, he said softly, you will find the place where the mind grows still enough to hear its own truth. Walk slowly. The silence there will welcome you. Asterisk, you nodded, feeling a sense of calm anticipation. The monk's figure grew fainter behind you as you stepped forward into the moonlit quiet, the glow of the last lantern lingering at your back like a gentle farewell. Asterisk. The moonlight guided your steps now, soft and silver, spilling across the narrow stone walkway ahead. The air was cooler here, touched by the faint whisper of a breeze that carried the scent of jasmine and something older, perhaps cedarwood. From the beams of a structure hidden ahead, asterisk soon, the path opened into a clearing. At its center stood a long wooden hall, simple yet elegant, with sliding paper doors and a roof that curved gently like the wings of a resting bird. A line of stone steps led up to it, each worn smooth by countless quiet footsteps over the years. Asterisk, you ascended slowly, feeling the grain of the wood beneath your feet as you stepped inside. The interior was dim, lit only by the pale wash of moonlight slipping through the open windows. The air was still, yet somehow alive, as if the space itself was listening. Asterisk, the monk was there, seated at the far end on a low cushion. He gestured for you to join him. His voice, when he spoke, was soft enough to make you lean in slightly. Asterisk, this, he said, is the Hall of Echoes. Here, your thoughts will return to you, but gentler, slower, softened by silence until you can truly hear them. Asterisk, you closed your eyes and the hall began to fill not with noise, but with a kind of remembering. The conversations you had earlier in the day, the worries that had followed you here, the unfinished sentences in your mind. They began to drift forward, but now they were different. Asterisk, each thought came like a pebble dropped into still water, sending slow ripples that faded before they could disturb the surface. A worry about tomorrow's tasks arrived, lingered softly, then dissolved like mist. A memory of a difficult moment appeared, but without the sharp edges, it too floated away. Asterisk, the monk's voice came again, but this time it was almost like a sound within your own mind. Asterisk, when a bell is struck, its sound fades on its own. You do not need to silence it. It will end when it is ready. Your thoughts are the same. Do not force them away. Let them complete their own echo. Asterisk, you sat in the quiet, feeling a deep sense of release. It wasn't that your mind had gone empty. It was that nothing inside it needed to be fixed right now. Everything was simply passing through. Asterisk, a faint wind stirred, slipping through the paper doors and carrying with it the sound of distant water. The waterfall from the garden, softened by distance like a memory returning in a dream. Asterisk the monk rose and walked to the far wall. He slid open a hidden door, revealing a narrow bridge that led away from the hall. Beyond the bridge, the forest waited, bathed in silver light. Asterisk. It is time to leave the echoes behind, he said. Your path now leads to the quiet lake. There you will see the reflection of the night sky as it truly is. Asterisk, you followed him out, the boards of the bridge creaking gently underfoot. The hull of echoes faded behind you, leaving only the rhythm of your breath and the soft murmur of leaves swaying in the moonlight. Asterisk. The bridge led you into a winding forest path, the kind where moonlight trickled through the canopy in broken, shifting shapes. The air grew cooler, and each step seemed to deepen the stillness around you. Even the night insects were quiet here, as if the whole forest was holding its breath in anticipation. The monk walked ahead, his pace slow, measured. His robes brushed gently against the leaves as he passed, and sometimes you could hear the faint tap of his wooden staff against the earth. You followed, matching his pace, feeling each footstep as if it was a gentle grounding of your body in the present moment. Then, the trees began to thin, and you saw it. The quiet lake dotted lay before you like a vast mirror, so still that it seemed almost unreal. The moon hung above it, perfectly reflective on the surface, joined by the glitter of countless stars. The water was so clear, you could see the faint outlines of smooth stones beneath its surface, resting as they had for hundreds of years. The monk motioned for you to sit at the edge, where the grass was soft and cool. You lowered yourself down, feeling the earth beneath you as a steady, patient presence. "Here," he whispered, "you can see your mind." At first, you didn't understand. But then, as you looked out across the still water, you realized it was like looking into a perfect, calm mind. No ripples, no disturbances. Everything reflected as it was, without distortion. You took a deep breath. The cool night air filled your lungs, then drifted out again in a slow exhale. Each time you breathed, the lake seemed to grow even more still, as if it was breathing with you. The monk reached into the water and let a single drop fall back from his fingers. You watched as it created ripples that spread outward, slowly, gently, until they disappeared. "Thoughts will always come," he said softly, "but like these ripples, they fade if you do not chase them. If you let them, they will return your mind to stillness." You sat there for a long while, simply watching the water. The stars reflected on its surface seemed closer now, as if they were leaning in to keep you company. The breeze that touched your face was cool but comforting, wrapping around you like a quiet assurance that all was well in this moment. The monk finally rose and began to walk back toward the forest path, but he did not call you to follow. He simply gave you a nod, a small smile, and vanished into the shadows of the trees. You stayed by the lake. You let the stillness seep into you until it became part of you. And as your eyes grew heavier, you found yourself lying back on the soft grass, gazing at the moon and stars above. The cool earth supported you. The night cradled you slowly, your eyelids lowered. The last thing you felt before sleep came was the deep, effortless peace of the quiet lake and the quiet certainty that it would still be here when you awoke.